everybody, I'm Joshua.
And I'm Caleb.
And we're brothers. No, wait. That's not hyperbole. We're actually brothers. As in 23andMe validates that we got the same mom and dad brothers.
We're asked that question a lot. We see in posts on Facebook and YouTube.
Because we look so dissimilar that it could be a farce. Guys, we love engaging with you on YouTube and Facebook. We love answering questions because this whole platform is supposed to be family. We're supposed to be able to open conversations up, ask questions, and provide answers that hopefully bring clarity. So today, we want to address a question that we've got on social media here from my good friend Casey Klein. Thank you for asking this wonderful question. The question is, I'm truly curious and not trying to argue. You just said corporately all Israel will be saved, so those who don't come to Christ will still be saved? ? Why witness to our own people if that's the case? Just curious. Casey, don't worry. I never thought you would ever be argumentative. So I appreciate the sincerity of your question.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Throughout the entire Bible, its entire purpose, in fact, we see this same message reoccurring through the prophets of the Lord, through the leaders, through Yeshua himself, that God desires to save the entire house of Israel. And he's sending Yeshua to rule over them for 1,000 years. That's like the entire purpose of the Bible.
Which
it's true.
Is kind of a big deal.
It's true. Now, Paul reminds us in Romans 11:26, saying, all of Israel will be saved and turn away from their sins. So we know what's going to happen, but Matthew 24:13 says that it's only those who survive great tribulation until the end will be saved.
Well, okay, so all will be saved, or all who get persecuted really bad will be saved?
Hey, we're Jews. We know persecution, don't we?
We've seen a thing or two, right?
Thousands of years of persecution. Let's see, Haman tried to annihilate us. Hitler, the pogroms.
I can't stand Hitler.
We're used to that, Genesis 3:15 says that the seed of the serpent would forever be at enmity with the seed of a woman. So we understand that. But we're talking about the tribulation here. 7 years of judgment. The first 3.5 years.
What's the tribulation again?
The tribulation spoken of in Revelation and in Daniel.
End of the
it's
story.
7 years of judgment where God judges the wicked while the beast, the Antichrist, is taking power and ruling. Well, the first 3.5 years actually go pretty well for the Jews because this illustrious Messiah figure, the beast, signs a peace treaty with Israel that their enemies cannot attack her. They rebuild the temple, reinstitute animal sacrifices. In fact, everything is going well until day 1260, the 3.5 year point. The beast marches into the temple, into the Holy of Holies, sits on the mercy seat, and declares himself to be God.
Is anyone else impressed that he knew that 3.5 years was 1,260 days right off the top of his head?
It's the Bible, man. They give a number in the Bible. That's how I know.
Of course.
Anyways, from that point on, Yeshua and Daniel warn Jews, flee into the wilderness, go to Basra, for a great time of persecution is coming. It's called the time of Jacob's trouble, says in Jeremiah. And so during this time, there is 144,000 Jews that step forward and start preaching the gospel of Yeshua. But still, many of the Jews do not believe upon Yeshua. And it isn't until the very end of the tribulation, when Yeshua comes with the clouds, with the armies of heaven, he steps foot upon the Mount of Olives. They look upon him whom they have pierced. They mourn as if for their only son. They see the holes in his hands and feet. And the Jews corporately, as one people, say, Baruch haba b'shem Adonai, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. They believe upon him as Messiah. But Zechariah states, which is very important, in Zechariah 13:7 through 9, it's only a remnant of Israel. Only 1/3 of the Jews that survive the Great Tribulation will believe corporately. That's why our message is so impending.
So what it is saying is they all will, but it will be the ones at that time period who've made it through, who've held fast, who will be in that group that's considered all?
That's right. Casey, that's why we need to witness to our Jewish brethren. That's why we need to witness to Gentiles, Jews alike now. Because you have to confess with your mouth and believe with your heart that Yeshua is the Son of God. There's no other way whereby we can be saved.
Unfortunately, over the years, you've heard lots of doctrines that might suggest there's no need to go out and to share your salvation or to share the love of Yeshua with others because it might be predetermined. And if it's predetermined, why should we do anything because we have no involvement? But at the end of the day, if love is what spurned God to send Yeshua down for us,
that's right.
An action, right? And love is what spurned Yeshua to live a spotless, blame-free life and then die on the cross for us, another action. wouldn't it make sense that action on our part in representation of that love is what we need to do for the world around us? We don't know who will go to heaven and hell. That's not for us to decide. But we do know that we have the understanding of the greatest love in history. And if you have that in your heart, why wouldn't you want to share that with every man, woman, and child on this planet, regardless of what they may choose or who chooses for them or what that theology ends up with? God who ultimately decides. I would think that if you had that love in your heart, you want to spread it with the world.
That's true. Thank you for your questions. Continue to send them, and we will continue to answer.
Especially you, Casey, because, well, you were brave enough to ask a question.